Following the initial rumors on social media, fans were shocked to learn that Mendeecees had surprised Erica Mena with a brand new luxurious condominium. While some praised the generosity, others questioned how it was done and how it would impact his closest friends and family. However, Yandy's reply was what really sent fans into a frenzy. Insiders claim that she was so overtaken with sentiments of betrayal that she broke down when hearing the news. Confusion and melancholy. How did this happen without my awareness? Her voice was reportedly shaking with incredulity as she queried a buddy. The drama reportedly carried on after that. Insiders claimed that the family was divided, friends were caught in the middle, and fans were scrutinizing every detail on the internet to try to understand what was happening. Concerns about allegiance, discussions were dominated by motivations and trust as rumors proliferated. Was this a gesture of real kindness towards Erica, or did it have deeper implications that caused relationships to fall apart? The tension, melancholy, and uncertainty generated a flurry of speculation, and everyone was on edge, waiting to see what would happen next. Startling rumors that Mendeecees had given Erica Mena a lavish condo erupted in Atlanta, and the news quickly went viral on social media, with people guessing about the timing, the secrecy, and the consequences for Yandy. The drama immediately captured the audience. Accounts state that Yandy was completely unaware of the present and was upset when she found out. According to reports, she confided in a close friend, her voice trembling with a mix of shock and grief. "He did this without telling me, which is unbelievable." Insiders claim that the revelation had a profound impact on her, causing her to question her relationship, her reliability, and her place in the lives of Mendeecees. Yandy was upset and emotionally sensitive, according to acquaintances, and she thought about the situation for hours. She was reportedly trying to understand how the relationship affected her sense of security, and how such a big gesture could happen without her knowing. The present itself was described as a modern, opulent apartment with all the conveniences one could want, including a designer kitchen, a private lift, and floor-to-ceiling windows, which viewers were riveted even though the emotional repercussions took center stage. Yandy reportedly felt totally duped, taken by surprise, and wounded since she was unable to connect the gesture with the secrecy surrounding it. Insiders said that when word got out, the family was divided. Friends and family attempted to mediate the situation in an attempt to assist Yandy and reassured the Mendeecees that his intentions were not being misunderstood. However, there was reportedly a great deal of emotion on both sides, due to late-night phone conversations, body language, and stress-related murmurs. There was a lot of unsaid animosity in the air. Every post, story, and comment made by Erica Mena and Yandy Mena was examined by online fans in an attempt to determine what was truly happening in the background. Reports that Yandy briefly stopped using social media as a result of the first criticism increased conjecture. Insiders claim that she deliberated about the situation for several hours with close friends, evaluating the situation and making a decision. She reportedly explained that it's not just about the flat. Sources said that her friends tried to comfort her by telling her how valuable she was and encouraging her to be honest with Mendeecees about her feelings. It's about having a sense of inclusion, respect, and value. It was said, nevertheless, that the emotional intensity was intolerable. Erica Mena, meantime, was at the epicenter of the conflict. Insiders claimed that she was merely thrilled about the flat and didn't intend to cause any stress. Her social media messages, which were meant to celebrate her new location, were misinterpreted by fans as being rude to Yandy or showing off. Insiders claimed that Erica attempted to send Yandy a private message outlining her intentions, but Yandy's responses were sparse and cautious. She seemed to feel the mix of excitement, guilt, and public attention made them uneasy and nervous. Arguments and private correspondence, according to friends, stoked the flames. Yandy reportedly sent Mendeecees an SMS expressing her displeasure and sadness. "This feels like a betrayal," she reportedly typed. "I don't understand why I wasn't informed." Mendeecees allegedly tried to explain that the gift was only given to Erica Mena out of charity and wasn't intended to hurt or insult anyone. However, the debate reportedly got violent as emotions ran high, leaving both sides feeling misunderstood and unresolved. They said that their social circle was impacted by the tension. Common acquaintances and friends had to negotiate a labyrinth of opinions, loyalty, and tension. Some tried to mediate by encouraging communication and understanding, while others sided with Yandy and validated her hurt feelings. Insiders claim that even seemingly insignificant behaviors, like a fleeting glance, a tone of voice, or a delayed reaction were scrutinized, which exacerbated the situation. The story became more appealing and popular as a result of online admirers meticulously observing every detail and interpreting posts and behaviors for hidden meanings. Additionally, insiders claim that Yandy's emotional response was complex. She was astonished, but she also felt alienated, vulnerable, and dubious. Long talks with close friends reportedly focused on the importance of communication, trust, and emotional control. She allegedly considered whether her relationship had been taken for granted and whether Mendeecees' intentions, no matter how good, would have hurt her feelings. Her friends said she was in a precarious situation, struggling to balance her pride, love, and hurt. According to insiders, Erica Mena tried to remain impartial while celebrating her individual success. Insiders claim that she was angry that her joy had unintentionally caused conflict, and did not anticipate that her joy would cause such an uproar. She reportedly tried to have a private talk with Yandy, expressing comfort and sorrow. But the exchanges were said to be reluctant and circumspect. Fans debated online whether Erica had unintentionally increased the drama or if she was truly innocent. The arguments went on in posts, comment sections, and forums. As the tale developed, insiders claimed that private phone conversations became unavoidable. Yandy reportedly spoke to Mendeecees directly, expressing her disbelief and horror. "It seems that," she said, "I feel like I was kept in the dark." Sources claim that Mendeecees made an effort to explain that the gift was solely meant to honor Erica's achievements and had no hidden agenda against Yandy. Both parties reportedly felt emotionally exhausted after the discussions, and despite attempts to communicate, the tension persisted. Fans were reportedly obsessed with every aspect of the unfolding scenario. We looked for hidden cues in social media posts, emojis, story, subtitles, and even video facial expressions. Arguments over communication, relationship etiquette, emotional intelligence, and who was right or wrong were all part of the discussions. Memes, reaction videos, and speculative threads turned minor updates into viral talking points that significantly broadened the story's initial reach. Insiders claimed that the intensity of emotions continued to manifest in informal, small-scale interactions. Friends reportedly saw him acting hesitantly, awkwardly, and emotionally. Additionally, insiders said that preliminary steps towards reconciliation were under consideration. Reports state that ongoing attempts to restore trust and communicate intentions included thoughtful phone conversations, private texts, and small gestures. However, feelings remained brittle, and the future was described as cautious and well-planned. Supporters continued to examine every detail, debating if there would be a resolution or more fighting. Friends reports state that in the days that followed the initial explosion, tension and emotional intensity rose even further. Insiders saw Yandy spending a lot of time with close friends, while attempting to process her feelings of betrayal and astonishment. Friends described her as deeply hurt but also considerate, trying to comprehend how such a significant gift could be made without her knowledge. Insiders claimed that she often complained about feeling underappreciated and wondered if her relationship with Mendeecees was being taken advantage of. She reportedly told a confidant, "It's not only the flat, it's about honesty and respect, and it's about feeling like I'm involved in the major decisions in his life." Erica Mena reportedly continued to adjust to her new surroundings in the interim, sharing tidbits on social media that her followers quickly analyzed. Despite her enthusiasm, insiders claimed she was concerned about the criticism and the increased public awareness of the issue, and she made an attempt to speak with Yandy privately, to be clear about her intentions and to emphasize that she had no intention of hurting anyone. But reports state that Yandy's cautious responses left the situation emotionally charged and unresolved. The combination of joy, guilt, and scrutiny made Erica question how she could manage her own happiness without adding to the tension. And friends and family were reportedly doing a challenging balancing act. Others were reportedly attempting to mediate between Mendeecees and Yandy, emphasizing the value of patience and open communication. Others expressed empathy for Yandy, acknowledging her suffering and advising that she prioritized her emotional well-being. Nonverbal cues, such as body language, side conversations, and even the timing of responses, were closely scrutinized, further complicating an already tense situation. Online admirers kept a close eye on every post and narrative, looking for clues, significance, and hidden motives. According to insiders, Yandy's emotional state appeared to shift dramatically over the next few weeks, alternating between periods of introspection, melancholy, and dissatisfaction, and periods of hesitant hope and resilience. Friends described conversations in which she expressed both joy and hurt as she struggled to reconcile Mendeecees' actions with her expectations of transparency and trust. She reportedly acknowledged that it was difficult to distinguish between impact and purpose, realizing that when communication breaks down, even well-meaning actions could hurt someone's feelings. Sources claim that Mendeecees tried to bridge the emotional gap by sending private messages, and making small gestures intended to calm Yandy, emphasizing the festive nature of the gift and emphasizing that it was not intended to offend or denigrate her. Despite these efforts, the emotional complexity of the situation made resolution difficult and time-consuming. Friends noticed that even minor misunderstandings could cause tension to flare up again, making every encounter emotionally and significantly fraught. According to sources, both friends and admirers started to doubt Erica Mena's involvement more and more, According to reports, Erica had to walk a tightrope between her own happiness and her awareness of other people's emotions due to the combined burden of intimate, emotional dynamics and public scrutiny. Fans saw her pictures of herself cooking or relaxing in her new flat as potentially provocative, while friends insisted that her intentions were good. Additionally, Yandy reportedly discussed her feelings of exclusion with close friends, focusing on what loyalty, trust, and respect meant in relationships and highlighting her desire to be involved in significant decisions. Insiders claim that Yandy felt both vulnerable and empowered to set limits as a result of these intense, often emotional conversations, and fans reportedly found resonance in the emotional depth, speculating about whether her actions will lead to conflict, reconciliation, or a brief separation. As usual, social media played a major role in spreading the word. Fans meticulously scrutinized every post, story, emoji, and comment from every participant. Sources claim that theories regarding emotional state, intention, and allegiance were constantly discussed. Memes and reaction videos, which often exaggerated conflict and tension for dramatic effect, were very popular. The narrative was kept in the public eye by a never-ending cycle of interaction, conversation, and expectation that resulted from the combination of private feelings and public conjecture. According to friends and sources, even casual encounters appeared to become extremely intense. Because of the delicate nature of the dynamics, patience, emotional awareness, and careful navigation were required. Online admirers allegedly kept a close eye on every development, often turning small incidents into rumors worthy of making the news. We searched for hidden significance in little signals, delayed reactions, and subtle gestures. According to insiders, every encounter might either increase tension or lead to a breakthrough in understanding. Attempts at private reconciliation. According to sources, the combination of introspection, media attention, and elevated emotional stakes caused progress to be slow and closely monitored. Friends acknowledged that a resolution could not be hurried and stressed the value of emotional honesty, empathy, and patience. Tiny notes, thoughtful phone conversations, and hesitant actions were all part of a larger attempt to restore trust and make intentions clear. There were moments of extreme vulnerability in the story. According to reports, Espanol attempted to persuade her of his intentions, while Yandy expressed fear of being left out and undervalued. Sources assert that Erica Mena also took her position into consideration, trying to dispel any confusion and offer consolation. Insiders say that fans who merely use social media signals to interpret events were largely ignorant of the significance of these private reflections. The emotional interactions created a multi-layered story full of suspense and complexity. Friends discussed how the tension was occasionally broken by humorous moments, lighthearted remarks, short jokes, or lighthearted conversations provided momentary relief from the emotional intensity, helping to humanize the event. According to insiders, instances were critical for maintaining perspective. Rumors and public scrutiny continued unchecked, but followers closely examined these gestures as signs of hope, reconciliation, or subtle stress relief. According to insiders, Yandy's contemplation touched on issues of emotional communication, trust, and boundaries in committed partnerships. Balance her desire for transparency and respect with her love for Mendeecees. Reports state that the process required careful emotional navigation, conversations with reliable friends, and difficult introspection. This aspect drew viewers. The crisis affected friends, family, and acquaintances in addition to the immediate participants. Reports state that some made in every gesture, phrase, and interaction has the potential to be meaningful due to the levels of social interaction. This was amplified by online enthusiasts who made sure that every small detail became material for debate, conjecture, and speculation. Additionally, sources claim that the narrative sparked more general discussions about communication, emotional intelligence, and the challenges of interpersonal relationships. Others sympathized with Yandy, while others sought to remain impartial. On forums and social media, debates about transparency, loyalty, and intention versus impact broke out. Fans scrutinized every detail, drawing conclusions, opinions, and sentimental implications from every conversation. Insiders claimed that this heightened awareness put more pressure on the current situation, making every action and word more significant. As the weeks passed, there were still tentative steps towards understanding and peacemaking. According to insiders, slow emotional development was based on private messages, thoughtful deeds, and reflective conversations. But feelings remained fragile, and the road to understanding and confidence was still unfinished. Last but not least, insiders emphasized that despite the drama's severity, it was interspersed with brief epiphanies, humorous moments, and human frailty. Erica Mena's modifications produced a multi-layered story of emotional complexity, public scrutiny, and interpersonal nuance. Fans reportedly remained involved, keeping an eye on every development, making predictions about possible conclusions, and analyzing the narrative with great interest. Mendeecees' assurances and Yandy's thoughts. People continued to analyze, speculate, and engage with every aspect of the story. which kept it captivating and highly discussed. Insiders claim that feelings remained at an all-time high as the story went on, and that Yandy continued to struggle with feelings of confusion and alienation, taking time to reflect alone and seeking advice from close friends. "I need to know where I stand and I need to feel seen and valued," she allegedly told a confidant, expressing displeasure at what she perceived as a lack of transparency and questioning the degree of trust in her relationship with Mendeecees. According to insiders, Mendeecees attempted to carefully balance intention and perception. Insiders claimed that he made several attempts to explain that the present to Erica Mena was an act of generosity rather than a jab at Yandy. It appears that private conversations, texts, and phone conversations attempted to bridge the gap, but the depth of the feelings hindered the progress. Friends observed that every discussion was heavily influenced by expectations and meaning, and that even little errors might trigger new waves of worry. Reports claim that Erica Mena was, despite the tragedy, she is still content with her new home. Sources claim that she was fully aware of how her excitement had inadvertently increased hostilities between Yandy and Mendeecees. She seems to have moments of anxiety. There were reportedly emotional moments in the narrative where Yandy voiced worries about being undervalued, while Mendeecees reassured her of his intent and concern. Insiders claim that Erica Mena also reflected on her actions, attempting to steer clear of miscommunications and maintain courteous interactions. Insiders described these conversations as sensitive but important, highlighting the human component that underlies the social media hypothesis. Insiders claim that despite the stress, there were moments of humor and lighthearted. Small jokes, seemingly amusing remarks, and nuanced humor allowed everyone to maintain perspective by providing a brief respite from the strain. Online fans closely examined these instances, seeing them as indications of emotional release, tentative reconciliation, or delicate tension management. Insiders claim that Yandy was always considering the meaning of respect, communication, and trust in her partnership. It seems that she was interested in learning about emotional openness, limits, and expectations. Highlighted friends wished to make her requests while carefully navigating the situation, characterizing these insights as emotionally challenging but eventually freeing. Erica Mena reportedly thought about the connection between one's personal happiness and empathy for others' emotions. Insiders claim that she carefully and reflectively navigated an emotionally charged setting, trying to find a balance between her joy and her awareness of how her actions were perceived. Friends noted that she experienced a mix of joy, anxiety, and awareness of the public's focus on everything she did. Insiders claim that the rumor became viral in social circles. Friends and acquaintances reportedly attempted to mediate, sympathize, or maintain neutrality in order to negotiate complex relationships. Private emotion, public criticism, and social media amplification are said to have created an ongoing cycle of engagement, analysis, and conjecture that maintained the drama's vitality and interest. Last but not least, sources said that social media attention, cautious communication, and introspection continued to influence the story. Erica Mena's introspection, Mendeecees' attempts at consolation, and Yandy's emotional processing came together to produce a multi-layered story full of depth, intrigue, and human feeling. Fans were fascinated, discussing, speculating, and arguing every new development. Insiders claim that as the drama progressed, Yandy's emotional journey reached unprecedented heights. Insiders claim that she pondered for a long time what trust, loyalty, and communication meant in her relationship with men. Friends said she was introspective and resolute, trying to manage her loss while maintaining her honesty. She obviously found a balance between melancholy and resolve when she said, "I need to feel included in the important things or this will continue to hurt more than I can handle." According to accounts, Mendeecees persisted in taking into account both the immediate situation and the long-term dynamics of relationships, in attempting to comfort them with chats, gestures, and private texts. He reportedly made it apparent that giving Erica Mena the flat was a gesture of happiness and kindness rather than a reflection of his feelings for Yandy. Friends described these conversations as circumspect and emotionally complex, with both parties handling sensitive topics and attempting to be clear about their objectives without causing conflict. The emotional complexity reportedly required tolerance, understanding, and careful attention to every gesture and word. Erica Mena reportedly maintained her enthusiasm for the flat while also considering the unanticipated impact on Yandy. She reportedly had lengthy chats with friends to try to understand how her private behavior and public posts would be interpreted. She allegedly expressed concern that her own delight had caused stress and made an effort to reassure others in private. Her supporters kept a close eye on her social media activity, interpreting every post, article, and comment as a potential sign of the parties' ongoing dynamics. Insiders claim that mutual friends were crucial in resolving the situation. Reports state that they gave instructions, mediation, and emotional support to assist Yandy and Mendeecees. in managing the intricacies of their interpersonal relationships. Friends stated that in order to prevent further escalation, cautious interventions, discreet conversations, and careful advice were crucial. As fans examined these conversations online and conjectured about their motivations, developments, and potential outcomes, an ongoing cycle of interaction and anticipation was established. According to reports, Yandy's emotional reflections were still intricate. She reportedly considered her feelings of vulnerability, emotional mistreatment, and exclusion in addition to her desire for open communication and trust. Friends say she focused on understanding the balance between intention and impact, realizing that even well-meaning acts can cause suffering when communication goes down. According to insiders, this introspective process helped Yandy define her future goals and boundaries, and was both emotionally taxing and inspiring. Sources claimed that Mendeecees understood the complexity of the situation and continued to try to console Yandy through intimate conversations and thoughtful deeds. He tried to demonstrate concern and make his intentions apparent. His friends described his efforts as meticulous and deliberate, highlighting his awareness of the delicate emotional balance and his determination to repair any perceived injury. Online fans continued to scrutinize every letter, story, and comment for signs of a settlement or continuing dispute. Erica Mena also reportedly reflected on a frequent basis. Accounts state that she attempted to keep her personal contentment while taking into account Yandy's feelings and the broader social dynamics. Friends described moments of anxiety and introspection when Erica considered how others might perceive her and how her actions could be misinterpreted. She reportedly tried to communicate in private, offering assurance and clarity in an effort to maintain peace and prevent more violence. Insiders claim that social media was still a key component in getting the message out. Reports state that fans examined every subtle gesture, post, and story, interpreting them as clues to the subject's emotional state, interpersonal relationships, or potential future developments. Memes, reaction videos, and discussion threads proliferated, creating an endless cycle of speculation and engagement. Because of the interaction, the story was engrossing and frequently discussed. Between interpersonal complexity, public attention, and reflection, accounts indicate that there were occasional direct conflicts. Yandy reportedly expressed significant annoyance and emotional fragility, while highlighting the hurt caused by the apparent isolation. Mendeecees stressed that the gift was meant to honor Erica Mena and was not meant as a slight in an attempt to make his intentions clear. Insiders claim that these conversations are challenging and exhausting, since both parties are trying to understand while navigating extreme emotional complexity. Friends said that even seemingly little deeds carried a lot of emotional meaning. A brief text message, a delayed response, or a quiet social media post could either escalate tensions or serve as a catalyst for